I believe that a mafia is somebody who's well established and it's got a proper network. So we must be able to say, what is the construction mafias?
They said it started in KwaZulu-Natal.
It started in the United Nations, where Statistics SA, they've used us as South Africans to create a country report.
All right, so we are continuing with the Big Five Construct Southern Africa right here at the Gallagher Convention Center, Midrand in South Africa. And like I said to you earlier on, if you haven't been here, you need to make your way here because we have a whole lot of information for you that will help you understand this industry and, of course, where we are taking Southern Africa in construction. But joining me now is a very interesting panel that I have here, and we're going to be talking about everything that is important. First, I'll introduce Themba Khumalo, who's president for Federation for the SDG. Welcome to the podcast and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, and then also this time around we've got some women power in the house, and that is Thato Mokhothu, who is the CEO of RTT Consulting. Good to see. You know, I'm actually very happy that I'll be interviewing a woman this time around.
Thank you. I'm also happy to be here.
Female representation.
Exactly.
Right?
Even here, I saw the participation. I see more men than women. That is very scary.
So you are doing great. You're representing us very well.
Yeah, no, I am. Don't worry.
Wonderful. I like that.
Yes.
And also sitting to my immediate right is Khulong, who's director of Mpileng Group. Thank you for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks for having us.
So you guys come and you bring in, each of you bring in a different flair, different parts. Because you know when you hear construction, all we think about is for me, I'm just thinking of a person taking a brick and cement, layering it upon the other until we have a building standing. But so much comes in together, right? For us to have a built environment, so forth and so on. So let's start with you, Thato. What exactly do you do?
So I have a construction company called RTT Construction. And I've been in construction since 2012. Then 2018, I was joined with a partner who's a civil engineer. Then we formed a new company called RTT Consulting that I'm currently championing. And the whole aim behind construction, for me, it comes from my background since I worked for private sector in the home industry. So I think I saw the need of having more women in the industry because of that time the contractors were male. And I've noticed we as women, we take construction with passion because it's all about, will your mother be staying in that house, you know?
You're building a home.
Yes, we're building
a
home, yes. So now with the consulting is you have to know the entire value chain because I believe if you are in the industry, know the entire value chain, then when I go and advocate for women, then I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just saying things that comes from the sky.
Oh wow, I like that. And then Donald, what does Mpileng Group actually focus on?
So Mpileng Group, we are a legal compliance company. We have in our midst, in the company, in our midst we have lawyers. I'm a lawyer myself. We've got accountants, we've got business consultants, so we've got environmental scientists, so we've got almost every professional.
Okay.
So what we do is we ensure that our companies, they get compliant, not only because they get projects or tenders because of through connections, but actually they do get compliant. So we come into the business, we do the gap analysis, we make sure we give you plans, we implement on the plans, we help you to be compliant from the ownership as economic interest to everyone within the businesses. We do ISO as well, so that we'll ensure that the company at the end of the day, even if they give you a project, you'll deliver on those particular standards. Okay. That's where we come in.
All right, so you touched on a very interesting topic, which actually brings me to Mr. Themba Khumalo here, who in a previous plenary session that we had yesterday actually raised the concern of compliance within this industry. But let me just allow you first to explain what Federation for SDG actually is all about.
Oh, okay. The Federation for Sustainable Development Goal, it's a mother body for different business forums and non-governmental organizations. We normally assist them in terms of loading opportunities for them, and we also do stakeholder engagement, social facilitation. Yes. So our main objectives, what we have realized now recently in the industry, particularly on the construction sector, because we are leading different sectors nationally, we have realized that there's projects which are hard and the stoppages, we've recently aligned ourselves totally different so that we can make sure that we unlock these Catholic projects by actually zooming in exactly when they are talking about construction mafias. What is construction mafia?
There we go.
Yes.
That is what we want to get into now. Construction mafia. So from what I've gathered, the different speakers I've had conversations with, and even in the plenary sessions, also referring to one of the plenary sessions that was taken by Minister Supplier yesterday, the issue of the mafia group, a cartel maybe we should call it, is a challenge in many aspects and spanning over the years. Now let's talk about it. You see, in layman terms, people might not easily understand what construction mafia was. I didn't actually, until I now saw the presentations that were going on how the mafia actually operates. And I think it speaks to all of you. Here's compliance, hoping that eliminates the mafia part of it. But let me allow you to let us, what really is this mafia? What is the challenge with that?
Yeah, basically, I think there's different groups. I want to start there, and I want to further elaborate with you. These groups, they are called construction mafias. We've got forums which are not registered as forums. And they'll go on sites, stop these projects based on participation or else seeking any opportunity. However, we have made sure that we do a further investigation about the whole scenario now. What we have found out, one, firstly, the people that are going there on the ground, we are totally labeling wrong if we are saying it's construction mafias. It's just a genuine community that seeks to participate in these projects.
So you're saying that the people that we term the construction mafia are just genuine people that want to participate in the whole chain?
In the whole chain.
Okay.
However, there's other organizations which are not organized properly and they are influenced by the very same contractors who happen that if they want to benefit in the township economy, they will make sure that they get a certain individual and say, look, we'll be operating in your area and we would like you to actually protect us. That is why they're saying it's a protection fee. We don't know the environment, we don't know anyone. So you're going to be our runner, you will make sure that you mobilize the relevant people, you talk to the ward councillor. Therefore, there is an expectation from that particular person because it's actually doing your groundwork so that you can come and implement and run your projects peacefully so. Therefore, the guys, they then expecting a payment, and whatever payment that they are giving them, it's referred as extortion later on, And we've got those ones who are not compliant and who will come and expect 30% as in like cash, And I can assure you, those guys, they are not genuine about the transformation. They've really established these forums to look at themselves more as individuals. And most of them, they are a breakout from a very good organization which has ethics, which is well organized, right? Which there is a proper transformation. So therefore, he's resisting to comply. And he's saying, I'm not going to comply. I can stop this particular project and be able to reincorporate it. But I just want cash and move out. And sometimes, the very same contractors again, they'll then say to these guys, look, this is a specialized work. You won't be able to participate here. So let's rather pay you something out of this contract and off you go. So that is why I'm saying there's two ways in this thing. And I want us, when we engage further on, I can further elaborate because I'm still refusing for us to assassinate a character and say a guy who's living in a township and refer to that particular guy as a mafia. I believe that a mafia is somebody who's well established and has got a proper network to influence. And also they have what we call a white collar crime. where they were still using the paperwork. You understand? So we must be able to say what is the construction mafias.
That's a very interesting question.
Where did it start exactly? Everyone is talking about now 20.
They said it started in KwaZulu-Natal.
They said it started in KwaZulu-Natal. Let me just write that one off, that statement. Let me explain where it started. It started in the United Nations, where Statistics SA, they views us as South Africans to create a country report. There was census. That census, it was calculating our needs, all of us, so that South Africa can get access to social housing, can get access to build roads. That is why we have partners as China's and so on to build the infrastructure. However, we got investors from overseas. Those investors, they came with their own subsidiaries as implementing agencies so that they can build this infrastructure. If there's social housing, you'll get a big company which is not from South Africa. It's excluding whether you're white or whatsoever, you are excluded already. Come to the roads again, it's the same thing that is happening. All of these sectors, because they are actually investing, but they have an interest to also become contractors.
Okay, so you say that. Let me come to Donald. So your company is all about compliance. How then do you identify this whole mafia layout in the industry?
All right. So I wanted to say to him before I come to that first, you cannot just go to a project and go and stop it just because you are a registered business forum. The constitution is clear. The constitution being the highest law in the land. So each and everything is governed by the law. So in this case, for tendering purposes, there's a triple PFA, Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act, which was amended not too long ago, the time they stopped the tenders. You're supposed to fight the law, not the person who's being appointed to come and run the project.
Okay.
So now, what happened was, before, each and every person, when it comes in, they change the laws according to how it suits them. By the time it was President Zuma, you were not supposed to get any project in South Africa. I'll give an example. If you're not 51% black owned or 100% black owned, regardless. So someone from overseas cannot come in here and get a multi-billion rand contract. They had to get through via a South African who happens to be black and
yes,
right?
Yes.
When President Ramaphosa came into the picture, he changed it. Rather, he amended the preferential procurement. And he said, anyone in South Africa, because the constitution is saying South Africa belongs to all of us. That means everyone must have equal opportunities, being black or white, or anyone, even if you're a foreigner. When South Africa wants to do business, you must have equal opportunities. So he amended the Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act. That means anyone from anywhere in South Africa can come into business. So that,
despite who owns 51% share
who
or
owns 100%, it doesn't matter. As long as you qualify in terms of the requirements they want in that particular project, then they're eligible to give it to you. Now, the participation in the community, the 3% participation, they say that now, the time they stopped the tenders last year, they say that the minister acted out of his scope. That's why they gave it to the organs of state. So if now you're tendering in Khulong, and Khulong is saying, we want X, Y, and Z for you to get this project. And once you get the project, they didn't include there that you must give 30% to the community.
Okay.
Does it make sense? So they're saying everyone is open for everyone. If you comply, come and apply. Anywhere in the country. So now you being in somewhere next to, I'll say in Tembisa, you're saying, but now it's from Polokwane. But he is complying. And on the requirement, they didn't say 30% of that particular project must be given to the community. So why would the business forum go and stop the project? Why don't they go and speak to the municipality so they can change the requirements? I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes,
because if ever the requirement clearly states that 30% must go to the community, definitely the contractor will definitely take 30%, call business forum and say, here's the 30%, you guys decide on which one are you going to give it to.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And in terms of compliance, there is no company in South Africa. Guys, they arrest these people. There's no company in South Africa can get a big project without being compliant. Yes, they can be compliant in paper, but that's what we need. We need compliance on paper. If someone, remember they have different bodies. If someone say you do qualify to get an NHBRC certificate, whatever, or CIDB grading 9, That body, that means they checked all the relevant requirements. That means your company qualifies for you to have a CIDB grade 9. Do you understand? If someone says you are a BEP and you're going to get a company, you're going to get a project for consulting, that means according to the requirements, you did manage those particular requirements. The only thing is, if this business forum they need to do, you need to go and speak to the municipality according to the Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act. Because that's what is governing them. That's why they said this must be done.
Okay. All right. Maybe let me hear from Thato before you come back to answer. Yeah.
I think from my side, it's more about us as contractors or those that want to go into construction to understand what is meant by even the 30%, because you can have a case where it's actually mentioned that you must give 30%. But most of the time, when the forum comes in, they automatically assume they are actually going to sit down and just get 30% of the project. And when they go to the business owner, they literally request the 30%, or we want 30% here, you know, and they don't even know what quantifies 30%. And where you find others even say, on your profit, you must give us a percentage, you must, you know, things like that, without thinking that...
That makes it mafia, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thinking that...
You seem to be different, but that makes it
basically,
mafia.
Because if you understand, the thing is, I think the laws keeps on changing, because mainly the 30%, it was for a specific group, which is meant the youth, women, people with disabilities, military veterans. And to be honest with you, we tried as women to say, when we go to a bigger contractor or whoever who's given the full percentage of the contract, to say we come in here because we literally want to work for our percentage, where we qualify for the percentage. And you find that's why I'm actually talking about the big mafias now, where the big contractor, instead of assisting you, because remember, the 30% goes with mentoring. It goes with making sure that whoever that you give the 30% on is not just working, because anyway, you're going to be, when you go to CIDB, they're not going to say, oh no, that portion, no, the bridge fell because there was a 30%. You are entitled for the entire 100%.
Okay.
So if you don't literally make sure of this 30% that you are giving, and you actually setting them up for failure, where in the past you'll get, I think that's one thing that I picked up from the conversations yesterday from CIDB, to say in the past you'll get us as women and youth and a designated group that goes and say, we literally don't want money, we want to work, we want to upgrade our businesses, and somebody gives you work but they give you labor.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And knowing very well you're going to be working so hard, that time you're not equipped or you're not informed that once you completed the project, whether it's above 130, 140, which we can take you to a grade 2.
Okay.
And once you go and you are done with the project and you go and upgrade, then when you get to CIDB, you learn that actually I can't upgrade because I only come there with my labor, where I was working there 24/7, making sure that I complete the project, and the main contractor supplied material, and knowing very well that job, it's like me just working for nothing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. For me, I get it. I think those people
add.
are the ones who are actually mafias, because they are not building you. You know, they're just coming in, and they're not even coming with a model. I had a model. I'm not going to mention a company where I was a subcontractor.
Okay.
when I started, and the model was brief to say, in terms of material, go and speak to a specific company and engage with them so that you get your material from there. And what we will do, because they were scared to give me money, because remember, I'm new.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we will give that money, but it will come from us. It will be a loan to your company.
Okay.
And once we pay you, we'll pay you inclusive of the loan. And we know that your value must be like this. So immediately when you say it's a loan, so they found a structure that will work for me, so that when I take this appointment letter and a completion letter and all of those required documentation for CIDB, I can qualify. But you get those mafias who don't really care to say, oh, there's that requirement, and they'll just do it, knowing that whatever the 30, 40 contractors that are working there, it's not going to do them any good.
But they changed that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's been changed.
That's what I'm saying yesterday.
Yeah, the only issue is there was something called right now it's called Supply Development Program.
Yeah.
So they say that according to the Act, the Special Trouble, because you're speaking more about BEE.
Yes.
About designated groups and whatnot. According to the Act, it's saying that big companies must at least help small emerging companies with 3% of your net profit after tax. But don't only give them money. They included something called Supplier Development Program. They say, it's fine, you are a small business, you don't have a loan, we're going to teach you how to read. You don't know anything about financial statements. So what are you going to do? This money, we're going to help you buy a buggy for you. You're going to bring you as a subcontractor. We're going to teach you a business. So you create some sort of portfolio of evidence for a year. So it can teach you how to run the business. Being in construction, right? It's called Supply Development Program. It's there. It's there. And they need it. The big companies, they need it for the verification on the stage. So they must complete it. You understand? They must complete that particular program accordingly to say, we found Donald here, where he couldn't read the financial statements or they didn't know how to do whatever. Then today, a year later, this is actually what we did with him. Okay. You understand? Okay. So that's exactly what they did. Yeah. But those ones of the designated group, they changed it. Yeah. So it's no longer like that.
Yes.
But hence I'm saying goes back to what I said, triple PFA.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go to the core, right? Because those are actually benefits for being a small enterprise, right?
Yeah.
ESD plan, enterprise supply development, social corporate investment, those are the things that they need to. It's definitely, they must leave it in these areas at the local level. But now the problem is this one. You find a big company which is established, it's doing the national contracts, all 9 provinces. It's also doing provincial contracts, right? And it's also involved in the township economy, right? So basically, this company, it's a referee, it's a player, it's a holding company, it's got a consulting firm. So it's the one that is also doing consulting, right? And
That's
it's
a very
also
common thing.
Yes. Then the guy again, they go back and tender, right? And then there's somebody in the very same area which, based on the local content now, he believes that I am a beneficiary and I do comply. I'm a qualified engineer. I'm a professional. I've studied. I've got all the necessary qualification. That project, based on the capacity, it's given to so and so. Is a grade 9. Therefore, I have to be incorporated as a smaller grade for this particular 30%. And 30%, I don't want to discuss it because those are crumbs, you know. So we were against the 30% initially because we are the ones that changed the policy. It was our submissions. We wanted 60% because we were previously disadvantaged. We could not allow these big companies to take 70%, we take 30%. No.
However, these big companies?
That is why I said it's a certain group. That group is not labeled. Always it comes as they're doing a white monopoly, this. It's one and the same group. It's the giants of the industry. That is why I'm saying now.
Are they international companies?
It's international companies. They register also companies around South Africa. Even in the security industry, the only big security companies, it's international companies, but they are registered around South Africa. Even in the construction sector, it's the same thing that is happening. Therefore, once now they have to involve our locals, they call them locals. They will then establish a side camp without doing any public participation. You'll find that the local ward councillor, he doesn't know anything about that project, right? And there's containers now. So there's people who will approach that project for consultation purposes. Some of them, they also seek opportunities. They're going to lobby for opportunities. When they get on site, those people who are there, they are not informed about the project itself. They know nothing. And then they say, no, buddy, Tina, we can't say anything to you. Then who do we speak to? Right. Firstly, there's a lack of communication. There is no relevant platform. to allow them, because the very same procurement procedure, it says that 30%, where must you obtain it from? Through the tendering system? No, you must go to the very same site camp. Right?
So,
and when you are going, can I just elaborate?
Okay.
Yeah.
When you go to the very side camp and to seek these opportunities, you are confronted with somebody who is arrogant, who is not prepared to give you any information. If you're saying who is was the project manager, we don't have their contact. Can you send any email, right? Then our people, they will then gather themselves and create a structure as a forum, so that they can be able to be engaged at a professional level now. And those people, they say, we don't recognize any forums, we don't work with any forums. Yet, the very same project, it's a community project. Why do we say it's a community project? It comes from the IDP plan, right? Because it's the submission of the very same community, which we need a hospital, we need ITA around this area. Therefore, they're also doing that for the sake of also being employable.
Okay.
You understand?
It's like it's a vicious cycle. It
So-
keeps
Yeah.
going, round and round like
So
that.
I want to get to the point where now they stop the site. It's because of now they are fed up. They've been trying to engage everybody. No one is talking about the submission. No one is saying, guys, this is a tendering box. You can come in and work with us. They don't welcome them, right? Worst of them all, they call them for a meeting, right? And then after that meeting, there's a register. On that register, there's a cell phone number, there's your address, there's whatsoever. The next thing tomorrow, you get a court interdict saying you mustn't go to that particular site, right? There's an interdict. While you were there and you are just the honest ward councillor, we are a
Let
community.
me hear from Thato.
I think mainly when you're talking about your municipalities, and because most of this project obviously happens in the municipalities, when it
Is
comes,
it always the case though, the way he's explaining it? Does it always happen like
it
that?
is, but you just have to understand where it comes from.
Okay.
Because as a contractor, it's not my responsibility to do public participation.
Oh.
It's the consultant who's appointed with the municipality. Because remember, I'm given a job to come and they will ask me for my program, and I'll submit. I'll be on site. So their role is to go to the public and say this contractor that has been appointed, and that is why when I want a CLO, I'll go back to the municipality to say they must provide me with a CLO. But because our people are not united themselves, the same people that want opportunities, it will be a problem even for me who's supposed to start to get a CLO, because the CLO a name needs to come from the municipality and from different wards. So there'll be a whatever, and then now there's a fight between the wards who know from my ward, there's going to be this one, why that one, things like that.
So,
And,
okay.
Yeah.
It brings us back to what Donald was saying.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
it sounds like people are fighting each other,
Yes.
right? It's contractor against contractor, employee against employee. But I think we come back to what you were saying, that we need to fight the
correct person.
the legislation itself,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, the
That's
correct-
what. So how do you come to the legislation? How do they?
So I honestly, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong when someone is looking for opportunities. However, one thing that I've noticed about our black brothers and sisters, I'll talk about black specifically because I am one of
Brothers.
them. Yes, like I said, black brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just said sisters.
Eh?
I just said sisters.
Oh, okay.
Brothers and sisters.
Okay.
All right. So what happens is we've loved the idea of owning a business, okay? And to register a business with CIPC, that doesn't mean compliance, okay? So you want to come and get whatever percentage of the project, 60% of the project.
Yeah.
Are you tax registered? Do you have CIDB, NHPRC, whatever those bodies that you need to register with? Yes, I am registered. Are you level 1? Yes. Level 1 means you are literally,
Qualified for certain.
yeah, like you literally, like you're on entry level. No, but that's why normally what you do joint ventures with people that have experience, that they can teach you these things. All right. Next 4 years down the line, you've grown, then you can teach another one. That's what you call transformation.
Yeah.
But our brothers, they just love the idea of owning a business. You register a business, that's okay. I'm fine with it. But I believe because of the system, last there was a deliberate system that sought to keep us as a black people disenfranchised. The greatest feature of that system, it's not like it kept black people disenfranchised. It taught you and I that it's okay to think and do small. So we grew up in an era where we are poor. So we've got aspirations, and what we see is you just want to have, you just want to buy a Ferrari. You understand? But I always say to Black, I've got over 2,000 business owners that are our clients. 90% of them are Black people. And 80% of those 90%, I can assure you that they're not even compliant. They'll tell you now, look, if you tell them this is the process that we need to go through, like my chief, hey man, this is 50,000. Yeah, can you do something for me? Because that's what we've been conditioned to. No one wants to go through the processes. But we all want instant gratification.
It's a conditioning of the mind, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
We just want this instant gratification.
And there's some discipline to it.
But I think it boils back to what I was talking about yesterday, to say it depends. Remember, if you are a genuine entrepreneur, you are used to getting into, like if he says I need to do this certain steps, I built my business from scratch. So I know I need to comply with this, I need to do this. But if I was just given a tender, like, a right, left and center, I don't want to do those things. Why? Because, I've seen people that got me as a grade 2 and they come in and suddenly they get 5 tenders at once, while I'm still struggling to get 2, or, I'm struggling, I have 1. And because they are given 5 tenders and they've never done any job before, for them, those compliances, they don't want to be hustling with those things. They'd rather pay somebody to handle those things. Why? Because that's not business for them. Meaning, they don't even know the whole reason. Because remember, as an entrepreneur, you must know why are you actually building a business. You get people who builds up a business. Why? Because they want to build a value within the business, to say, I'm building a wealth. And I'm going to sell it afterwards. Like, why are you building it?
On that one, in terms of compliance, I do advocate for your compliance, strictly, right? And 2, I am against construction mafias, honestly. I don't advocate for homicide stoppages. The reason being, there is no need for that fight now, right?
Yeah.
Because we've done that part, right? And there was a consensus where we are saying each and every department must have a transformation policy. It must be clear about that policy, how many percentage that goes to our people. Besides the department, there's what we call a township, local township, what do you call this? There's a policy, the framework for a township economy, right? Why I'm raising these issues now? You'll find within the very same community, there's a grade 8, there's a grade 9. It's well established, right? But you did not win that particular tender at the time, right?
Okay.
And then you are saying, guys, can I participate as a subcontractor? I've got experience. I know how to build this bridge, right? And then they'll get a contractor 700 kilometers away, Yvonne, from your area, who's going to take the very same opportunity as a subcontractor now. So particularly, which means the main contractor, he knows someone somewhere who he feels which is going to incorporate in the very same project. So you basically, you have to empower the very same community, but you are bringing your subsidiaries again, right? So which means there's a problem within the departments, accountability and the monitoring.
Monitoring and
There's the accountability and the monitoring. There's no people, basically there is no watchdog.
Whose responsibility is it to monitor?
Right, let me answer that one.
Okay.
Let me answer that one. The very same community around the area, there should be a stakeholder, and they must monitor the very same project because they are running around their environment. And it's there because of its addressing the IDP plan. It's their needs, it's what they want. So they must monitor that progress. And the very same departments, again, they must form part and parcel of a stakeholder, right? And different organizations. It shouldn't be one forum or a federation. It should be different forums, right?
So there are no forums of this nature in the construction industry, is that what you're saying?
There is forums, but these forums, they are actually saying, we don't recognize you. However, you cannot say you don't recognize these forums because they are locals. But we all sourcing funds from the World Economic Forum. It's still a forum, but that one is recognized because now it's what? It's pampering money to South Africa. Therefore, somebody, a ground in Lapayana, is not recognized as a legit structure. Those people, they are advocating for a proper transformation. I am saying, we are structured now as a federation, and we are prepared to tackle these criminal activities head on. If there's somebody who does not now comply, right, and who's prepared to extort or something like that, we are saying, verify with us. Who are these people? You understand? Because we are a federation now.
So there has to be some sort of repercussion.
There should be a
Very
sense
strong
of
repercussions.
Definitely.
When anybody's caught out being part of the Katsande, the Mafia.
But the answer now again, there's a structured SAPS province. They're doing these investigations. They arrest these people, right, through the information that are given by the contractors. When the investigating officer is talking to this guy, he didn't realize with time, and this guy is not a construction mafia. It's somebody who was just wanting to participate. He was there to go and lobby for opportunities. The first thing on Monday, they release him because there is nothing that is threatening the project.
Gathering here from this
So because he was supposed to be arrested.
This is not going to end at all.
Yeah.
But, okay, you want to say something?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think he needs to separate. Remember, like what he's saying, there is those community people that goes into to projects, you know. And if we are talking about big mafias, like those big companies, to say, for us as smaller contractors,
there's something that is important now that you are raising. Those big companies, we are referring to them as
big
mafias because they obtain these projects through a white-collar crime.
So everything is crime in this case.
Yeah, so everything is crime.
I don't want to say that. Yeah, I just wanted to finish my point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because of time, I'll just allow you to briefly finish.
I think because of time, my advice will be, most of the time when we talk and we're talking about contractors, it does not specifically mean we must be fighting for tenders. So our problem is we all want the same pie, while there's a bigger pie than what we are fighting for. And this same mafia, they will take us, small contractors, to go and fight that pie while they're benefiting more on private sector.
Absolutely, I believe. I would like to believe it happens.
Yes, in private sector. And I can assure you now, if you go to JSE and you look at the CEO's salaries, and then you can see how good those companies are performing. Why? Because we that fighting for that small pie, all of us, we are not looking at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that small pie that we are fighting. It's so small, and they know we all want it, And when they come, because we are not even focusing on them. So now we'll be fighting a small mafia, whatever. While Bona, they're regrouping, and letting us fight there for the pie. So we need to fight.
They monopolize.
We need to fight the real issues.
They monopolize.
We need to talk about real issues.
Can we round up on a positive note? My goodness.
A positive note.
Yes, can we round up on a positive note?
The positive note, we are prepared to deal with the issue, the construction mafias. One, we are saying there should be a communication, there should be a proper way. The entry point, it should be stakeholder engagement, recognizing the ward councillor, right? Inviting different stakeholders, whether it's a business forum, whether it's a traditional something, different groups, right, under one roof, and actually present to the community that there's a project that is coming. They mustn't just see a project in the container mushrooming in their areas and coming with foreigners nation to come and participate there, right? And also, one more last part, the issue of unpaid contractors, subcontractors. Those people, they are actually SMMEs. You got a tender because when you've got enough capacity, we don't need to carry you for 30 days. When you must be in position to pay our people with immediate when they submit invoice. So I want us to address that. Lastly, there is a relevant structure which can do a further investigation and also assist big companies.
What structure is that?
Right. We've got a federation for SDGs, right, which there's a department for our investigations and verification. If need be, we advise that there should be a stakeholder engagement and stakeholder management and social facilitation, because we understand the ground better than you.
Okay, because of time, we have to round off. Donald, let me hear from you. So, just briefly, what is this future of construction? What are we looking at?
I believe anyone who wants to go into construction, they shouldn't just think of just wanting to open a business. They must engage proper companies that are going to teach them on how to run businesses. We do actually NYDA, where they're engaging with us currently. They want us to teach young people who want to go into business, specifically construction, on how to run businesses, how to get compliance done. There are so many structures that these people get into it, so that when you go and fight these big guys, and it is you go with compliance. But however, the second thing is, you cannot compare yourself with a company that has been there for 50 years. Absa was not built in one day. You get so. A culture of delayed gratification is important. While you move in that particular project that you have of 2 million rand, the issue with you guys, you all want a Lamborghini and a Bentleys just instantly like that. A culture of delayed gratification is important. You learn. Learning is not mean you have to go to school. No, you've got the internet, you've got phones. You learn the importance of compliance, and you come to companies such as Mpileng. Let me complete something. Right now, if you check, they created something especially for construction called ISO.
Okay.
ISO is an international standard. All right? They're saying that because, do you understand? So it's an international standard. They're saying that if you want to tender with any state currently, you must be ISO certified. What is ISO? Quality Management System in the business. They say if you give you 100 million rand, you're not going to go and buy Ferrari tomorrow.
Oh no, let me tell you, I know of a road in Stain City. It's a beautiful road, it goes and then it just vanishes into thin air somewhere, halfway, then we go into a dust road. But that was a project of a whole tarred road that was supposed to be completed. It's been, 4 or 5 years? That project is at a standstill. But that doesn't benefit the people of the community at all. Okay, Thato, let me hear from you. I don't know how you're surviving in this industry as a female, but I should say kudos to you. Well done.
Thank you. I think first of all, our communities, they must participate in the public participation. Because some of the things that we are discussing here are actually things that I communicated. So when you see a contractor, it's not because there was just a contractor. It's because there was a public participation and they didn't attend. So decisions were taken. And because for me as a consultant, to finish my study, I need people to participate. And whoever who came there, they actually took decisions on your behalf. So you can't come and complain afterwards because you never attended.
Oh, right.
Because they see containers.
Yes, when you see containers.
The public don't know that, do they, actually? It seems like there's a lack of knowledge.
It goes back to education.
Because it goes back to even decisions that are taken in Parliament. It's because there was public participation.
And people
so anything that you see that is already being granted is because there were people who participated when it was done. And they do, Parliament goes into like in all cities, in all different wards. So on this day, there's going to be a bill that's going to be passed. Please participate. They don't look at those things.
Participate.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I would have. Okay, you want to still go on quickly though?
This is my last point. Secondly, women, we must speak out. We must. Like this thing, I know everybody's talking about women empowerment, but now when it comes to business, I want to be a partner. I don't want to go into business woman, whatever. Hey, I don't want to be entitled as a woman. I'm a businesswoman. I mean, I'm a business person, just like anybody else. So when you go to deals, don't carry the value of women, but show your value. What is it that I'm coming with? Because so many people take advantage of women empowerment to say, because we need a woman, so we're going to give you this 30. No. If I'm bringing more than 30. Yeah, no.
That's profound. That's profound. Thank you so much. I would have loved to continue with you. Maybe we should do a part 2.
Yes,
I don't know. Maybe we should actually do a part 2 of this. But very informative. So if you are out there listening, listen, this is what it takes for you to be a qualified ISO, you said, ISO contractor. You have to have the standard, the quality, and you have to be in good standing. Thank you for watching. We are right here at the Big 5 Construct, Southern Africa.
Thank you.